Everyone, alrighty. Let's go on scrounge up.
What's that supposed to mean?
It is common knowledge that rodents hoard nuts, stolen technology, units.
Okay, first off, I ain't a hoarder nor a rodent.
So it was
a stash hidden aboard this ship. Fetch it now.
There ain't nothing to fetch. Groot blew our stash on Contraxia, and the rest I gave to Quill and Gamora for the dashed quarantine zone access code.
A likely story.
Why don't you go bother someone else?
I intend to.
Well, let's have a chat
What
with
do you
Quill, shall we?
want, Quill? If you're looking for units, check your own room.
Look, who the hell left the fridge open? No, I want some answers.
Don't forget to close the fridge.
Yes.
Sure thing, Mom Lord.
Well,
Open this door. I know you are in there, sentient tree. Do not think that I do not know what you are up to. Your rodent co-conspirator has clearly stashed his illicit units in there. I am Groot. I am watching you, tree.
oh boy. Hope. Do I need to actually do I need to put a padlock on this bloody fridge? Do I really have to? Next person who opened this thing is gonna get a bolt from my weapon. Okay, maybe that's maybe that's a bit too extreme. But you get my point.
Seriously, Quill, if you're here to talk about feelings, it's a hard pass. So, you here to talk, or you just want a gear upgrade?
Let's just check in.
You're not still upset, are you?
It'd be a lot better if we didn't have 3 cycles to pay a fine.
True.
Hey, remember that time on Conlar with the Badoon and that really hot Ascavarian girl?
Yeah, her buddies would have spaced your stupid Humy butt if me and Groot hadn't busted in.
I had things under control, mostly.
Really? Of course.
Too bad you're broke, Quill. I should be charging you for all the times we saved you.
Name one other time you saved me.
Should we start a
Contraxia,
list?
Nowhere, Paramitar, Ceres, Contraxia again, Malador.
Okay, so I owe you. Big.
I should have turned you in for Yondu's bounty. Sure as Scott wouldn't be scrounging for units to pay off your Nova girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend. But admit it, you like being a guardian of the galaxy.
Still on the fence about the brand name, but keeping the Milano as collateral was a pretty smart move.
Never agreed to that.
If you'd rather I turn you in.
Don't worry. I know you put a lot into this team. I'll make it up to you.
You better.
Can we just hey. Wait, I want the no, I want upgrades.
If you want to make it up to me, find a way to pay this flarkin' fine.
Yep. Oh boy. Okay, trying to use 50 minutes away. I think twice charged the shot, release. Okay. Fire rate doubled when health below 25. Glide around tires for a short time while shooting. Slow time briefly when dodging the last second. Okay. Avoid falling prone by dashing and hit with the knockdown blow. Okay. Ooh, interesting choices. Super punch. Additional health pickups. At the last second. These two actually look quite good. I can always pick up more components. Let's go with this one.
One shiny upgrade, nice and crafted.
Fantastic. And get the glide.
Done in record time.
I mean, sure, I have to learn how to shoot it and shoot that way, which I'm not fantastic at, but even so. Gotta do it at some point, I think.
Now that was some quality crafting, if I might say so myself.
Okay. Gone through all those.
Hey, Gamora.
You're supposed to knock.
What are you doing? You're supposed to be looking for money.
Meditation, I think?
And?
I don't have any.
Also, what's with the dolls?
That's interesting.
Do you value your life?
Yes.
Is that a trick question?
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, yes. Mostly, I value my life.
Good. Then pretend like you saw nothing and get out.
See you in the lounge?
Out.
Got it.
Right. Obviously, just her thing. I can respect that.
Any units I uncover will go directly to you, but I am unsure the others will do the same.
So, you're taking the whole find the units thing pretty seriously.
It is a serious matter.
Yeah, I totally get it. We're all afraid of going back to prison.
I am not afraid of going back to prison.
Oh, good. Because I'm not either, mostly.
In the kiln, I was surrounded by criminals, murderers, and thieves. They taught me a harsh lesson. Assassins and bounty hunters cannot be trusted.
Okay. Wow. Don't you think maybe you're calling the kettle black?
I have not mentioned kitchenware.
It's
an Earth
I think
thing.
they call it a
What
metaphor.
I mean is, you're a convicted mass murderer. I used to be a pirate. We're not exactly upstanding citizens.
Yeah.
You and I honor our word. I cannot say the same for the others.
You could be wrong, Drax. You won't know until you give them a chance.
We will see.
Yeah, well, time will tell, I guess. Oi! Open the flocking door. Oi! Open, you flocking door. Thank you.
Groot, you okay in there? Think you could open the door for a minute? Is that my toothbrush? Great. Now I need a new toothbrush.
Okay. Moving on. Somewhat briskly. What the hell? Oh boy.
So, got any ideas to get those units together?
Oh, might be able to
You
scratch it.
have investments.
You think I look like an investment type of guy?
You are a risk taker.
Exactly. I don't sit behind no desk all day hoping for real estate fluctuations. I go out and I do stuff.
Perhaps we are somewhat alike.
Right, let's get this translator conversation
Yeah,
going.
it's broken. Maybe Rocket can fix it.
Would be nice to be able to talk to him, to be honest.
Groot! Hey, buddy. I was just, checking to see if everything was okay. And it is. Okay.
That was awkward.
Too bad this translator's busted. I was hoping it might have Groot stored on it, or something. That way I could download it into my translator.
And make
I'd
it-
love to know what your thoughts are on stuff.
That'd be
without,
pretty cool.
You know, Rocket always filtering it.
Huh. Hmm. Ooh, can we, let's, just in case we can't ask them all, let's go this one. See if Rocket can fix it.
Actually, hold that thought. Yo, Rocket!
What?
Can you come here for a sec?
You sure you're
What do you
yelling
want,
loud
Quill?
enough?
I'm busy.
Think you can see if this translator has Groot's language on it?
It doesn't.
How the hell do you know?
Check.
Don't need to. Cheap scud like that don't have rare language packages. And even if it did, it's beyond salvageable.
Ah,
Really?
fair enough.
Wait, do
That's
you
a
have
shame.
Groot's language package installed in your translation implant?
Do I look like I'm made of units? Only folks who got that language package are rich people.
So you actually speak Groot then?
You mean Tolunism? And yeah, I speak
To
it, more or less.
lunatism? What?
Me and Groot been bounty hunting together for a decade before you came along, Quill. When you've been working together that long, you develop a common understanding.
True.
You say misunderstandings, I say open to interpretation.
True.
They didn't go sour. We didn't need those jobs anyway.
Oh, really? Of course not.
So you guys learned to understand each other over time.
Yeah.
And with the help of a spreadsheet of Groot's lexicon, which ain't no easy feat when your entire language sounds like I am in Groot.
True.
There's hope for us yet.
Yeah. Oh, cool. We can ask everything. Excellent.
You know, I didn't always have a translation implant. I mean, I was feeling Spanish before I left Earth, not that Spanish would have prepared me for all of this.
No kidding.
Man, those first few years, do you know how hard it was to get by without having any idea what people were saying? Half of the languages out here sound like white noise, weird birds, and messed up theremins.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't even want to know what Rocket actually sounds like. TV did not prepare me for the realities of living in space, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, don't say.
Honestly, man, you're lucky you have Rocket. I mean, I know what it's like to be surrounded by people and have no one understand you, how lonely that can be. I'd have been lost. You must have been lost too, before Rocket and us. I probably don't say this enough, but you really are an important part of the team.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
can't imagine the Gardeners of the Galaxy without Groot. And who knows? If this thing does have your language in it and Rocket can download it somehow or hack it or I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
It'd be
cool.
nice to finally talk to you. For real. Glad we had this little chat. Awesome.
Feel this.
Cool.
I'm gonna say I feel the same way. I guess this is where we would have heard Sword the Llama.
We contacted one of the assassin's disreputable sources.
She don't really mean that. What were you saying?
One of those informants is bound to be of value to Novacore.
You want to sell out one of Gamora's guys?
If they are murderers, then justice would be served, and we could negotiate an extension of our fine.
Huh. Well, if I wasn't so sure Gamora would stab you in your sleep just for suggesting it, I think it was a pretty solid plan.
True. I mean, she would kill you in your sleep if you tried it. Who left the fucking fridge open?
What's in that container on your work table?
Your mom's love letters.
My
Oh.
mother did not write love letters. She displayed her affection by hunting large game animals for my father to cook.
Ugh, now I'm hungry.
And he was trying to insult you and it backfired. Huh. But he did sound to something very interesting, so guess that's something.
Why you gotta be so paranoid, big guy? You didn't mind trusting me on Hanshi.
Trust you repaid by attempting to rob our employer.
I told you I was just testing their security measures.
So you claimed.
Huh. Pack of cards.
Let me guess. You're watching me.
I am.
What do you think I'm gonna do? Conjure some units from thin air?
Can you do that?
No!
Not for lack of trying, believe me. Oh, that's cool. Oops.
Groot! Are you done in there? Me and Musclehead could use some input. What do you mean a minute? You've been in there for ages.
I have noticed that the tree is very meticulous about grooming.
Well, that's a good thing, you might
don't
say.
He made me snip off the shoots on his back the other day. Nobody cares that they were poking out, you big dandy.
Hey, he's trying to, trying to have some professionalism about his look, and I can respect that. I can actually respect that about Groot.
How about a plan that won't get us skewered by a resident murder crumpet?
Let's check
Murder
this.
isn't always about you.
Hey, Bluebird, you copy?
Yeah, I was talking.
I know you think I sold you out, and
A plan?
I suggest we wait to hear what Peter Quill will propose.
Quill? He got us into this mess in the first place.
Gamora, I was just...
Who are you talking to? What's a bluebird?
It, was Yondu's call sign. He was Bluebird and I was the kid.
Let me get this straight. Yondu Udonta, leader of the Ravagers space virus, scourge of the Sirius system and all-around scoundrel, used Bluebird as his call sign?
Your point being?
Even had it embroidered on the back of his jacket.
Amazing.
Yeah,
It was amazing. Pretty much from the day we met.
How did you two meet? Terrans and Centaurians aren't exactly neighbors.
That's true.
We met on Chitauri Prime, about 3 years into my sentence.
Wait, Yondu was a prisoner of war?
Didn't you know?
I thought the Ravagers were neutral.
Yeah,
They were. And they also weren't.
No kidding. Yeah, let's, yeah, well, why not? She's asking.
Yondu and I were cellmates. First thing he said when they put him in my cell was, "Boy, don't be going and getting attached, because I'm just here for the food." And the food was pretty terrible, so...
Yeah, that sounds like Yondu.
I had cellmates before, and none of them lasted long. The Chitauri have these gladiatorial games, and...
You got used to people dying.
Yeah.
Not sure about that, but I didn't expect anyone to last long. I also
True.
didn't have my translation implant back then, so I might as well have been alone. But Yondu, he actually spoke English. Said he'd offered to translate in exchange for extra rations.
Good deal.
So even in that snake-infested hellhole, ever the schemer.
Survivor, I call
It's
that.
something we had in common. I'd been scheming for a way to escape since the day they took me. I just needed someone like Yondu to make it seem possible.
How did you escape?
Let's just say it was equal parts simple, complicated, and kind of embarrassing. But it ended with the two of us delivering a transport full of stolen supplies straight into the hands of the Resistance.
For a bucket-load of units, too, I bet.
Of course.
Anyway, once we did, there was no going back. I was a Ravager.
Yeah, well, you could do what you have to survive, you know? I mean, pull the schema, his, charm. Yeah, I have to say like that because, let's face it, it's true. Not the best charm, but it's awkward. It's clumsy, but it can get you places at times. Weirdly. Anyway.
The Ravagers had a simple code. Steal from everyone. Yondu said it made them neutral.
But they weren't. I specifically remember several Chitauri transports being hit when I was still... you know.
They hit just as many Resistance ships, until a Chitauri cruiser uncloaked in front of them during a raid and...
Yondu ended up on Chitauri Prime. With you.
After we broke out, he could have left me on some space station or dropped me off at the nearest Nova Corps base. But he didn't. Instead, he invited me to join the Ravagers.
You were with them a long time. Must have enjoyed it.
I did. Being a Ravager was the first time I felt like I really belonged, if that makes any sense.
Well, it's surviving, really.
I felt the same way when I joined Richard Rider and the Resistance. Like I was finally in control of who I wanted to be.
Yes,
I bet.
Exactly. Those first few years, it was like I had joined this really big, really dysfunctional family, which,
Exactly.
now that I'm hearing it, would make Yondu my...
Space Dad?
Basically.
Could have been worse.
A lot worse.
Well, if you don't mind, I think I'd like to be alone for a bit.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll see you around.
Yondu is Peter Quill's father. Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it? It actually makes you wonder. I'm gonna switch her back to her original outfit. Just something, you know, a little different. I'd keep this outfit of his though for a little while. Let's not go too cocky.
So, Drax, did you bring out your stash of hidden units?
I do not hide my units in a stash, for I am not a rodent.
Neither am I.
You are rodent-like.
And you're annoying-like.
That is not a valid taxonomic order.
Oh, Drax, you and your words.
Well, well, well. Let's see if we can find some stray units in here. Really?
Well, it could be a lot worse. I mean, I actually, what, who am I kidding? There's probably maybe, what, 10 credits there? If we're lucky. Actually, why am I even saying 10? Probably more like, is 5 stretching it? Like, I suppose it's a start. I suppose. Gotta start somewhere, don't we?
37 units?
Better than I thought.
Appear to be 8,963 units short.
Incredibly specific, but thank you,
We
yes.
intend to keep our ship, Peter Quill.
I know. We clearly need a plan.
And reconsider my initial proposal.
Oh, no, not Fin Fang Foom again.
Yes, we should go after Fin Fang Foom.
Drax, there are easier ways to get paid. Like, what about selling Gamora's crap?
What?
Oh, come on. You've been hoarding them stupid knickknacks ever since you first joined us. I mean, don't tell me they ain't worth nothing.
Quarantine zone was always a
Holding
half
out on
My
us, Quill.
figurines are not knickknacks.
Huh, team's in trouble, and you can't be bothered to make no
Set course for
sacrifice.
the Mocking
I will
Star
sacrifice
system
your head.
and take us to the majestic mountain.
Guys! Let's just hear Drax out this time.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, unfortunately.
Fin Fang Foom is the fiercest, most legendary monster in the galaxy. It shatters the bones of all who go after it. The skulls of the greatest hunters are impaled upon its fangs. Well, imagine the glory of such a death.
Our goal isn't death, Drax.
Glorious death!
Out of the question.
Well, in that case...
You're not selling my stuff.
Go ahead, Groot. Yes, we are a team, supposedly.
He says we should combine both ideas.
Which ones?
Sell Gamora's trinkets to Fin Fang Foom. It is brilliant.
Yeah, you know, the only problem with your plan is that Lady Hellbender only buys monsters, and you are not a monster. He's not. He's the sweetest, most... I am Groot. No, you don't. This ain't something you can pretend.
True.
Oh, yeah? You want monster? I'll show you monster!
Whoa, guys!
Hold the fun. Hold it. Let's just take a breath.
Are you really offering to...
No, he is not offering that, okay?
It could work.
Sell Groot? I guess we could bust him out after.
Absurd. Lady Hellbender seeks the monster within. The small, ugly one is clearly the correct choice.
Well, hang on a second.
Cruel, sadistic, and his soul is filthy and filled with rage. Monster Queen would pay a great sum for such a creature.
Really? How great.
How are you okay with this?
Because I know what I am. And I know what he ain't.
Well, hang on a minute. Hang on. Groot's
I
unique,
vote we
though.
sell Groot. I honestly think Lady Hellbender will go for it.
Yeah, well, I vote for not Groot.
I also vote for the creepy little beast.
2 votes each. Peter?
It's one of those things that, I'm gonna say, even though Rocket is fierce, I'm not sure she would look at that in terms of thinking maybe he's an aggressive nature, genetically, whatever. But the problem is, she's probably met hundreds of creatures in her time, I would imagine, that are fierce and technically brilliant or whatever. Groot is incredibly unique. He can be fierce. Okay, he's gentle, but he's still unique and he's imposing when he wants to be. Now, we could make a plan around that. Rocket, we'd have to sell his emotional tendencies. That's gonna draw a fine line. Groot for a unique species, which he is, probably I think the last of, if I recall correctly, was the fact that we could get into a few "I am Groot" type, really imposing if we need him to. Get nice planned cues, well at least Rocket can do that. Maybe work that out. But I'm just thinking in terms of, for someone obviously who's apparently a collector type things, there wouldn't really be much of a point, I would imagine, in selling Rocket, because she's probably met heaps of mercenaries and creatures that are fierce and whatever, but wouldn't even care. Groot, on the other hand, unique, can be fierce, one of a like, or at least if there's a limited commodity of a certain creature and species, they're very, very valuable to collectors. True thing. For the most part, let's face it. To point an example, when you do antiques, if there's a limited amount of a certain type of antique, collectors will pay an arm and a leg for it. No questions asked. Just a matter of how much. So, and if we can organize a bit of a crafty plan, and Rocket's an expert in breaking out of places, we've got a good team that can, they'll walk in and say, a bit of a business plan. And if I'm honest, not very much of a point in Groot being the one talking, unless Lady Hellbender can actually talk this way. Yeah, better off having people can actually talk multiple languages. And at least, if people want to talk, we've got a translator. Am I overthinking this? No, we need the one-of-a-kind, imposing Groot. And we can break him out afterwards, because of Rocket's fantastic skills. I'm sorry, Rocket, but we kind of need unique options here.
Well, I think Groot's more convincing, in the traditional monster sense. Groot, buddy, first of all, thank you. And second of all, I want you to know we're gonna bust you out of there right after.
Correct.
Okay?
I am Groot.
Yes. Good. Exactly right.
All right, let's do this. Let's go sell a monster.
We can figure out the details, Although trying to talk a plan to Groot might backfire.
They say the weather patterns of Seknarf 9 are tied to the temperament of its ruler.
That's not how women work.
Or weather. Anyways, I'm sure it looks worse than it is.
We're in a crash land, aren't we? Almost certainly.
There! That's Lady Hellbender's fortress.
Wow.
Stay close, Quill. I don't want to walk in this.
Yep, no problem.
Maybe we should let Rocket take the helm.
Nah, he's not flying at all.
Guys, relax. Just one minor adjustment.
Could have gone worse.
Piece of cake.
You can't be serious.
What? This way we can scope things out before we finish the transaction.
That's just a fair way
We're
to do
like
it.
100 clicks from her base.
You know how much I
I'm
like
sorry.
scoping.
You want a pilot? No,
Nope.
didn't think so. We probably should let Rocket fly, though. I'll agree with that part. But still.
Next time, I'm flying.
Are you sure the Leafy One is ready for this?
Nope.
He'll be fine.
Don't you get all gloomy right now. It don't help.
Because you're constant complaining, Des?
You are complaining about the short one complaining.
We're all complaining. Happy?
Let's just quickly go up. For the sake of the game context, I think we've gone over this already,
Hey,
but
I
let's
got an
remind
idea.
ourselves.
How about we find some backwater world and go off grid?
This is
for
one of
a
those spinal units that
does
Rocco's
this
telling
thing
us
look
about.
so
But just for the game can
sinister?
register it, so...
while? Who said? I don't go into your room and touch your stuff, Quill.
What? You hacked my visor and added a scoreboard to it while I was sleeping.
That was different. I improved it. Also, did anyone tell you that you snore? I thought Drax was bad, but wow. Quill, you should really get that checked. You sound like a Torg.
don't
not always easy to control.
Snore that loud.
Yeah, okay.
So what is this thing anyway? Kind of looks like a metal face hugger.
That is clearly a spinal control unit.
Yes, right, of course, a spinal control thingy.
Back on Half-World, Kree scientists use these to keep us super soldiers in line. They'd press a big, fun red button and zap! Instant obedience.
That's right, he was a super soldier, wasn't
Holy
he?
crap. Rocket.
I think we've gone through this already, but let's just remind ourselves that just how much Rocket has had to overcome. I think we deserve to be reminded, honestly.
What exactly did the Kree do to you?
They ripped me apart and rebuilt me over and over and over again until I became this half-finished thing they could mold and shape and control.
Oh, Rocket, I had no idea. I mean, I knew the Kree Empire was desperate, but...
Do you know what it's like to lose all control of your body? To be in constant pain, trapped inside yourself, unable to stop the horrible things you're doing? That control unit made sure I did what I was supposed to do. Oh yeah, whether I wanted to or not. A neat, furry little machine of death. Didn't take long to figure out I was better off not fighting it.
Okay, then let's shoot this thing out the airlock. Have a little middle finger salute ceremony to the bastards who built it.
I don't think I'm ready to let go of that part of me yet. Maybe one day.
Are you 100% sure you want to keep it? What if it...
Controls me? I decided a long time ago, Quill, that I would never let anyone control me again. As far as I'm concerned, this is just another useful piece of junk and a few bad memories.
You know, when I think about, you know, when I take away from what Rocket said, I mean, apart from the old button, spinal control, it talks about, you know, Jules like to be in constant pain, all this type of stuff, and I think, I know family, I know people who have got terminals. Well, I suppose I suppose I don't mean, you know, I suppose lifelong is probably not the best way, but terminal isn't. But you know, just, you know, the people I know got like very much ongoing problematic health issues, and, you know, migraines and all that sort of stuff, that, you know, they've gotten to the point where they bear with the pain, but it's really bad. And, you know, I know people say, you know, who, you know, they take, you know, all types of things, you know, all types of medications, you know, to try to just control the pain, control these things, so it doesn't weigh down too much on them. And, you know, I've heard similar things, like, you know, it's, you know, how they talk about how much pain they go through each day, and it just makes one wonder about, you know, just how much they're having to overcome mentally. You know, it really is, as they say, food for thought, but maybe in a slightly different context. But yeah, just makes me think, you know.
How many of you super soldiers were there on Half-World?
When the Kree started, 100, maybe. By the time I escaped, just me and Lila. She was the first one not to die from the control unit.
And Lila is also a...
What, a raccoon?
Or not a raccoon?
You gotta understand. She was afraid of him, and the control unit made sure we stayed in line, that I stayed in line.
Oh, that sounds awful. I can't imagine.
So, I did what I do best. I found a way to overload the control unit. When the Blueskins let us out of our cage, kaboom! I blew a hole into the side of the lab. What we didn't know, what I didn't know, was that the lab was protected by sentry bots. We got to the security fence, and Lila covered me while I hacked the modulator frequency, and as soon as it opened, she pushed me through the door. I heard her die, Quill.
Rocket.
Doesn't matter now. Past is the past, right? And that thing, it's just a reminder.
I'm sorry you had to go through all that, Rocket. For real.
This could all have been avoided if the rodent had relinquished his hidden cache of units.
How many times do I gotta tell you I ain't got no units?
Really makes you think on food for thought about the amount of, you know, pain and suffering that people go through. And I don't just mean, like, you know, I mean, I know it's more like I know people go through rhetoricalness about it, but, you know, the different types of, you know, pain that, you know, went through just actual physical pain or emotional trauma, you know, emotional and or psychological trauma, you know, through loss or just emotional stuff that you go through. I mean, you know, I've lost people close to me. I've gone through my own emotional trauma in my life. I mean, you know, just it, and I know people who have lost a lot as well. So I mean, it's yeah. I'm not trying to say I'm comparing myself. I'm just saying that it reminds me of that sort of thing. It just, you know, it can certainly make you stop and just think about, you know, like when people, you know, that I don't think facade's the right word, and I suppose it may be one way, but that mask, you know, where how they get through things, you know, it's like you think, I suppose maybe facade is the right word, but it's just more like that. I tend to hear more terms as a mask or masking because they put on this front, as it were, and you see this whole like big reactionary side when they're really covering up a shit ton of pain, and it really makes you think, doesn't it? You know, about, you know, what Gamora really would be thinking, or, you know, or Drax, or if we could actually hear Groot speak his language, the stories they could tell. You know, it really makes that think. But I'm almost certain we went through it, but I thought it was worth just reminding ourselves that even though Rocket is this sort of explosive character, you can really see behind that mask there is a really a very fragile and complex, you know, emotional interior personality and character to him, you know, which you really can't, you shouldn't be forgetting about that, you know. So because Rocket is that sensitive type. I mean, when it's all said and done, you can tell how sensitive he really is. And you know, you've got to really get past that whole exterior front, which is not easy for someone like Rocket who's gone through what he has, you know. So yeah, it's really interesting and a sad, but you know, it's, you know, it's revealing as well. Yeah, it's an interesting revelation. Yeah, it just makes me think. But yeah, a bit of a flat note, but yeah, we'll end the things here, and yeah, we'll go and check out this planet. Oh boy, um, this should be interesting. See you next time.